Hey folks, Dale Davidson here, the Dear VA Guy. Thank you for joining in today. So I've got a lot of questions lately and a lot of interest in this topic. So what is the process of a disability claim? And what are the steps you got to take? Look, navigating the Department of VA disability claims process. I mean, it's like a maze. It's very daunting. It's difficult to say the least, okay? But if you understand the steps involved, this could help you and your family manage what's going to be a long, drawn-out journey and hopefully give you some confidence along the way. So here's a kind of a short list guide to how the VA disability process and the claim process goes basically from start to finish. So the first one is you initiate the claim. Well, this is where you gather the evidence. So the first step in the claim process is gather evidence to support your claim. Well, I've got a back issue, so therefore you want to go get your medical evidence regarding your back or your knee or whatever it is. Medical records are absolutely vital to proving your disability claim. Maybe your records are included in your C-file or your service records, okay? Make sure you contact the VA and get a complete copy of your entire service record. This includes all your medical, okay? Because you would want to go through that and highlight in your C-file where you've been treated for your back injury or where you jumped out of a perfectly good airplane and you landed wrong on your knee. Whatever it may be, you need to be able to prove that in your medical records, and hopefully it's in your service treatment records, but if not, all is not lost, okay? So you also need to include any private medical records, if it's not in your C-file, that relate to your condition. Now, if you got a knee issue, medical records regarding your heart are not necessarily relevant, okay? So again, make sure that whatever medical records you have and you submit are relevant to whatever the disability you're claiming. So before submitting the claim, make sure that all your documents are put together and put them together in a logical and orderly fashion, okay? Because what happens if the VA gets your claim and they say, well, this is incomplete because we need this. You're claiming a back injury, but we can't find any of your records because they're over here in this pile. So look, make it easy on these people. Give them a roadmap to everything, okay? Now, I've talked about VA disability benefits questionnaires, those DBQs. They are helpful because they are document specific as to your condition, and they can help streamline the process. Unfortunately, a lot of doctors don't like to fill those out, but maybe you can convince your doctor to do that. So again, initiating the claim, gather your evidence, make sure you've got it all together. This would include all your medical evidence, whether it be in-service medical evidence or private doctors. Just make sure it's all together in a logical and orderly fashion. Now, once you get all that together and you get ready to file your claim, as part of your claim, and it depends upon what you're claiming. Maybe you're claiming some kind of a PTSD, for instance, or you're claiming exposure to a toxic substance. So you need to provide in there what I like to refer to as a stressor statement. A statement saying, I got PTSD because I was in Iraq and we were involved in door-to-door firefights with insurgents and whatever it is that has caused you to develop PTSD, then you need to put that on paper so that the VA understands where you're coming from. We got all the evidence, okay? Next step is filing the claim. So you can submit your claim a lot of different ways. Now, one simple way is just to mail it in. Maybe you can go to your local Veteran Service office and they will file it for you. They'll file it for you electronically on there. A lot of veterans now are using the e-benefits portal. You'll have to go in there and set that up, and then you can submit your claim electronically. You can upload all your medical evidence and your stressor statements and whatever evidence you have. You can all upload that on the e-portal. So you mail or submit your claim somehow, some way, okay? But if you're going to mail it, please make sure you mail it so you can track, to make sure they get it. The VA is notorious about, losing things. If you're going to be detailed on your application and put all this work into it, you certainly want to make sure that the VA is going to get the application. So pay the extra money, send it certified. I know it'll take, maybe $15, whatever it is, but you'll know when they get it, okay? So there are basically two types of claims. There's the fully developed claim. This is the one that we prefer. This is the faster process where you submit all the evidence up front. So we want to make sure that the VA has everything at their fingertips. So when that reviewer is going through and putting the checks by everything, that they don't have to ask for additional information. So this is where you give them all the medical, whether it be from the private medical doctors or your service doctors, okay? Your stressor statement, whatever other evidence you need, you feel is relevant to your disability claim, then that's to be included in the fully developed claim. And then the other one is the standard claim process, where the VA would assist you in gathering evidence, which takes longer. The VA does have a duty to assist you in gathering evidence and things of that nature, but that just takes much longer. You're better off getting your own evidence and submitting your own evidence to the VA under the fully developed claim versus the standard claim. So we've got all that submitted, hopefully under the fully developed claim process. So the third step is the initial review, and they gather the evidence at the VA. Your claim is going to go to a claims reviewer, and they're going to look at certain things. Well, is the form out of date? If it's out of date, they kick it back. Did you not cross your T's and dot your I's and date it? If not, they kick it back. So make sure you're detailed in all of those things. It happens. I tell you, the funny story is we get it a lot where they'll say you've sent in an outdated form, when in fact we've gotten the form off their website, and they'll send us, say you've got to send this form in. It's the exact same form. So anyway, just make sure when you get it, just turn it right back around and shoot it to them. So give them what they want, in other words. So if you didn't submit all necessary evidence, or if the VA requires any kind of further documentation, the VA is going to call you, or not call you, but they're going to write you a letter, and they're going to give you a short fuse to say, hey, look, we need this. You have so many days in which to get it to us. Don't delay, okay? Get it to them before the deadline, and send it to them certified mail. Make sure that you keep track of what you've sent. Make sure you keep copies of everything that you've sent, and make sure that they get it, and get it before the due date. During the review stage, you may get a letter saying, okay, you've claimed that you got a back issue or knee issue, whatever it is. So they may schedule a compensation and pension exam. That's that CMP exam we've talked about. So that's going to be through some kind of VA healthcare provider or contractor. Okay, you may get a call from somebody saying that I'm with ABC Healthcare, and we've contracted with the VA to conduct this examination. You need to show up at this date and there. If you can't show up, tell them ahead of time. If you don't show up, then they're going to kick everything back, and it's just going to create a mess. So show up for your exams, okay? So the purpose of the exam is to evaluate the severity of your condition, and it's your connection to your military service. Okay. Again, we're always concerned about nexus and how your condition connects to your military service. So, for instance, if you're having migraines, how does your migraine connect to your military service? Maybe your migraines are related to your PTSD, which certainly is connected to your military service. So, tell them. I think my migraines are related to my military service because of A, B, C, and D. Because I have migraines. I didn't have migraines before I joined the military, but now I do, and because of my PTSD. Be open and honest. Don't hide anything. But don't go in there to your CMP exam and say, everything's fine. I'm okay. I can do whatever. No. If you have back problems and you're out, a week at a time or days at a time, tell them. Say, this severely impacts my activities of daily living. Okay? I can't go out of the house because my PTSD, I'm afraid I'll go off on somebody. Or I don't like large crowds, or whatever it is. Be open and honest. Don't hold things back. They do the initial review, evidence gathering, and the CMP exam. So then, after all of that happens, the fourth step is the rating decision. So the VA takes everything, all the exams, everything, and then it goes to a rating specialist. And that rating specialist reviews your claim. And so they evaluate everything to determine, is your claim legitimate? Are they service connected? There's that nexus thing again, okay? And then how severe is your condition? The rating system is based upon percentages of your disability, and they go from 0% to 100% in increments of 10. So the rating determines the amount of your monthly compensation that you would receive based upon your disability. So you see how important your medical is. You see how important that CMP exam is. You see how important it is to convey to the VA the nexus of your condition to your service connection. The nexus is very important because that goes into the rating decisions. So we've gone through all that. And so the fifth step is the notification of decision. Notice of decision, okay? This is where you get the letter and you're thinking, wow, do I really want to open this? I'm nervous. What did they award me? The VA sends you this letter, and it's in a package of information. And they'll send you a summary letter, a cover letter, the rating decision, and a rating code sheet. The cover letter just summarizes what they've decided, and it's explaining, then the rating decision explains how the VA reached its decision. They're going to say, we determined you have PTSD because of this, A, B, C, D, and you've got service connection because of this. And then you'll either agree or disagree with the decision. If you agree with it, by all means, just rock on. Just start living your life and collecting your monthly compensation. All right? If you disagree with it, then the sixth step is to appeal the decision. Okay? So if you believe that the VA has made an error in its rating decision, in that notice of decision I just talked about, you can file an appeal. You have several options. You can do a supplemental claim in which you can submit new evidence that wasn't considered in the original decision. You can't just duplicate that evidence. It's got to be new evidence that says, well, I just came across this new medical report that my doctor did that was not part of it, and I need you to consider this. So that's a supplemental claim. You can do a higher level of review, which is saying, hey, look, I can't submit new evidence. I can present legal argument, which is a big plus, but I can't submit new evidence. But I don't think that reviewer really knew what he or she was doing. I want to have somebody who's more senior and more experienced to reassess my claim. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. You cannot submit additional evidence, but you can present legal argument, which is a good thing to be able to do. Then you've got the Board of Veterans Appeals, and you can appeal for a hearing or decision. Okay. Now, appeals are complex and time consuming. They take time. I mean, you're talking about your compensation claim taking time. The appeals, again, can take time too, based upon whether it's a supplemental claim, a higher level review, or Board of Veterans Appeals. We've got one that we have a Board of Veterans Appeals hearing in 2 weeks. It's a virtual hearing. We've been waiting on this for about 13 or 14 months, so it just takes time. You know, they're just time consuming, and they often require the assistance of maybe you have a VSO officer or somebody like myself. Don't be afraid to ask for help in this instance because it's complex, okay? If your claim is approved, this is the 7th step, then the VA is going to start paying you your benefits. They usually pay it monthly and based upon your rating. You also may be eligible for additional benefits such as health care, depending upon your rating. Now, a lot of times they're going to pay you a lump sum back, thousands of dollars, and it depends on how long, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months of a lump sum, but they usually pay that in increments. Okay, we just had one who had a lump sum paid. They're supposed to be $83,000, but they only received 60, and they get the 23,000 next month. I don't know why they did it that way, but they pay it in increments. So those are basically the 7 steps to the VA disability claim process. It's challenging, it's hard, it's difficult to understand. It's like a maze, a labyrinth, whatever you want to call it, and it's very difficult to navigate by yourself. So my best tips are gather comprehensive evidence, all your medical records, belts and suspenders, the kitchen sink, everything. Just put it in there. And then make sure you're filing the claim correctly. Make sure that your application is, number 1, the correct application, and number 2, making sure that you fill it out completely. And make sure you date it and cross your T's and dot your I's, okay? Because they will throw it back at you. Know your rights. If you feel that you're being trampled upon and you're not getting the correct decision, you can file an appeal. For those who find the process overwhelming, look, go to your VSO or come to somebody like us. And there are a lot of other resources out there to make a difference in the outcome of your claim. You just got to take advantage of it. Hey folks, I hope you learned something about the steps to the disability claim process. Hey, check out this video, VA pension application tips to help you get approved for more information. And until next time, you have a blessed day.